Hello, this is Aaron Maller from Parallax, and this is just a quick video to go over the fire ratings that we have set up in our template and how you can set them up in yours as well. So to start, I'm going to just draw a wall in this floor plan, and I'm going to pick a wall that can be 2-hour rated. It's a metal stud wall with 2 layers of gyp on each side. Now the way ours are built, there's an instance parameter for every wall called assigned fire rating, and if you put a 2 in there, you'll see that the hatch will automatically show the striping for the 2-hour rating. Now there's a few components that you need to do in order to make this work. For starters, your view template has to have a filter in it, and so the way ours is done is there is a particular filter, and the filter is looking for the fire rating of 2-hour. And if it sees a 2 in that value, then it assigns a cut pattern override. Now there are several other pieces that you need to do before this will work correctly. So you'll notice here that the filter is overriding the cut pattern of the entire wall and setting it to be a particular fill pattern that we've made called FP2R. Okay? Now then, we're going to go take a look at the fill pattern FP2R itself. And one thing that you'll note is if you were to go in to modify it, it's set to orient to a view. Now that's not hugely important, but what also has to happen is in the wall itself, and this is the part that most firms get wrong, there's obviously different materials in the entire wall. So there's 2 layers of gyp on each side, and then there's a metal stud. All 5 layers must have a cut pattern, and the cut pattern must be set to a particular setting in the fill pattern dialog as well. So here you'll see we're looking at gypsum wallboard as the cut pattern, and so if we go back to our fill pattern dialog again, you'll see here that if we go to gypsum wallboard and we look at its settings, it is set to align with element. Now this is very important. Every cut pattern in the wall must be set to align with element. Where most firms get this wrong is that metal stud, we typically don't want a hatch pattern at all to be showing up inside the metal stud. So what you're seeing here is that metal stud does have a hatch pattern, but the hatch pattern is a single line that repeats every 1,000 feet or so, so you actually don't see it almost ever. It's every 12 feet, I guess, but you'll see here that it's set to align with element, and that's what's important, because if you don't have a hatch pattern there set to align with element, the filter will not work correctly. That's all you need to do to actually make the filters work. We do a little extra in our template. So ours, the wall types themselves have what's called a max potential rating. So here you'll see that the max potential rating is set to 2 hours for this particular wall. What that means is somebody can select this wall and put in a 1, or they can select this wall and put in a 2. But if they select this wall and put in a 3, of course, the wall is going to turn bright red and say, that's not okay. All of that is done inside the visibility and graphics filters as well. So you'll see here that there's what we call a 1-hour filter, and then a 1-hour check, and then a 1-hour plus smoke. Then there's a 2-hour, which is the pattern you saw before. There's a 2-hour check, and there's a 2-hour plus smoke. And similar for 3 and for 4, and we also have one that is just for a 0-hour and smoke rating. The particular patterns themselves are a bit tedious to make. When you're looking at them from far away, you'll see that they look pretty convincing, like they are just thick line and then 2 hashes. If you consistently zoom in, you'll actually notice that what these hatch patterns are is it's a tight grouping of individual lines that are arrayed, then a gap, then a tight grouping, then a bigger gap, and then another tight grouping that follows. That's the only way you can actually make these patterns look convincing, because Revit doesn't use the same type of pattern or line style options like AutoCAD did. So that's basically it. All you need to do is set up a visibility graphic filter, put it in your view template, and then make sure that all of the layers of your wall have a cut pattern set to align with element, and you'll be off to the races.